How's everyone doing? This is Joe with Ohio Wood Burner. Today we are on a delivery, and here is what I got going on. We're trying to go on a family vacation, and this is the new reality when you're self-employed versus when you just have a 9-to-5 job. When you got that job for a paycheck, when vacation comes, usually don't let the door hit you on your way out, right? And you're gone and you forget about everything. Being self-employed, I don't really have that luxury, and I'm not complaining. It's just things that I got to keep track of. My phone is still going to ring while we're on vacation. I'll probably have customers calling me for firewood, so I want to be able to stay in contact with them. The other thing is I have the restaurants, and they're on a set consumption, and I can pretty much tell which restaurants are going to be needing wood on the days that I'm going to be out of town. So I contacted the restaurants that I know are going to be running low. And the one restaurant that has me the most concerned is they have a tight woodshed and it only holds one cord. So I just can't take them a second cord because it's not going to fit. So what I am doing is taking a third of a cord of firewood, charging them for a third, and then I will know that they're going to get through the whole week until I can get back in town, and then their next order would be the full cord. And that is just me keeping my finger on their pulse, knowing what their consumption is. I contacted the store manager. They were very appreciative for this, saying that that previous wood guys would just go on vacation and then they would never hear from them and they're out of wood. So that is something I think you need to pay attention to when you decide to get into restaurants. It's a commitment. It's not just you take them wood and it's over with. There is a commitment there, and you got to stay on top of it. All right, so we have a third of a cord of seasoned maple. This is it's a little bit wet from our rain, but it's still good looking wood. And we're going to head on down the road, guys. All right, as always, I have their invoices and I keep track of my mileage, because when you register as a business, your expenses are deductible, and certainly your mileage is. So it pays to keep track of everything, and you can write that off on your taxes at the end of the year. All right, guys, here we go. I can't stress this enough. Restaurants are a commitment, and you got to stay on top of it. You might be in an area where there are a bunch of other firewood companies out there ready for you to mess up so that they can get that account. Or at least here with me, maybe there's not as much competition, but an obligation that I have with these guys. Because man, if I drop the ball, they are sunk. And this restaurant only cooks over firewood. They don't have a gas grill to be found in their kitchen. And I feel that obligation with everything I do for them. I look at this as a passive income, not just this restaurant, but all restaurants, because you can judge their consumption. You know how much you're going to be getting at least every month just because of your restaurants. And then residential is extra on top of that. So I do what I can to not mess this up. And I just did not come to them with a problem. I came to them with the solution, that we're heading out of town, and I am on top of the situation here. And I already got a compliment from the manager. They're very appreciative of the level of service that I'm bringing to them. And we are here. This is at a mall, and there always seems to be something, So here a unauthorized person is parked in front of the woodshed. But having the small truck, I just got in here. We're just going to get this loaded. So this is how much they have. Would this have lasted them 6 days, probably not. But I also can't fit a full cord in here because it's too much. So I just brought a third, and that should give them just enough to get them through the week, and then they'll get back on their regular schedule. All right, so let's get this unloaded and we'll get out of here. We're using the unloader from Harbor Freight. This was the best money I've ever spent, and I have a link to it on my affiliate page. If you buy it through my channel, I get a small commission on it. And true to everything, all of the side money that we get, you know, from our t-shirt sales, our affiliate pages, all go to my daughter. It's my way of giving back to the camera girl, because she's obviously the hardest worker in our organization. This unloader works really good. The only thing with Firewood, when I stack it this way, I have to pull it away from the fender wells, otherwise it doesn't come out. You guys are probably going to think I'm weird, but when I look at my Firewood, I remember some of these logs, and this wood is some of the first wood that I made with the axis. And I can just tell when it was split by the axis, because it adds this little bit of a lip to where the knife came down through it. And I got a lot of square firewood. I never had square firewood before until I had the axis. But that's what I see when I look at a wood pile. I delivered this last week, and I just remember, you know, certain things about logs and where I was when it was made. It's actually pretty nice out right now. It's a little humid, but it's later in the evening, and whenever you deliver to these loading docks, like this is a big mall, and this is one of those loading docks that's behind, you know, a wall out in the parking lot. Man, it gets busy in here in the mornings with all the semis pulling in. And when I'm in here with my dump trailer, I have this loading dock plugged up for a while. So I try to come at off hours, usually right after lunch. And I have that worked out with the manager, where most stores, especially the restaurants, have signs they do not receive orders, and that's because that's all hands are on deck because of the lunch rush. That's when you know, for people that are delivering chicken and fish and produce and beverages, they have to come either before or after. So I have it worked out with the manager that I come during lunch, and that way I'm not having the loading dock tied up because there's no one else here. And they're totally fine with me getting signed in and then delivering the wood. So it just works out nice that way. If you ever do get a restaurant, ask them about, you know, are there times where they don't want deliveries? Some restaurants are pretty particular. Others probably maybe don't care. But you need to know all that before you decide, you know, if you're going to be able to service that account. And this is where this unloader is just a big tool for me here. It allows me to keep all the crumbs off the driveway, and it brings the wood right to the end of the tailgate. I don't have to jump in and out of the truck. This wood has really dried out nice. You know, it's seasoned, but man, we had all that rain. But man, just one day of just hot sun and some good wind, and it's right back to where it was. This woodshed is very easy to get to. You know, I can just back right up to it. Always pay attention when you're dealing with a restaurant and they want you to provide them firewood. Go to where the woodshed is and think about how easy it is to unload. Do you need a wheelbarrow? Do you need a second person to help? you have to walk around any corners or up any stairs. And then also think about how it's going to be in the wintertime if you live in a snowy area. You know, the wintertime changes everything. So this one has always been an easy woodshed to get into. Just occasionally you get someone that parks in front of the woodshed. But in this case, the mall manager's office is just inside the door. If it was a problem, I go to see him. He usually knows who everyone's car is. And then I don't know if this is a job perk or if it's a curse, but you gotta smell the barbecue, you know, the smoke that's coming out of their chimney here. It just fills the air up. It just smells awesome. And I noticed that at practically every restaurant I deliver to, the smells. I think if you're on a diet, it's hard to lose weight with this job, even with all the activity that you have lugging wood. You're always feeling like you need to eat something. So this, again, you keep all of the mess off the ground, and it saves you time sweeping up when you're done. But this is also, if you guys are noticing how fast I'm breezing through this, and that's one of the advantages of hand loading your truck. Yes, it takes a little bit more time versus just tossing it in, but I think you get it all back when you're stacking, because it is just super easy just to pull a good section off like this and stack it. And you know what it's like when you have a big disorganized pile of wood. You know, you got to pull each one out at a time and put it in a little pile and pick it up. This is something where if I had the interest, I would do a study from loading it to unloading it both ways and seeing if there is actually a time value. I'm just telling you that there is. Even if there wasn't a time value, I'm still going to do it this way. I think that there is a wow factor, a customer service matter, when a customer sees their order has this much care taken to it, where it's hand loaded, and given the dimensions of the bed of the truck, you can measure your order right on the truck to make sure that you've gotten your quantity that you've ordered and that you're paying for. And at least with this truck, the measurements are pretty easy. It is 2 foot tall, 5 feet 2 inches wide, and then your stick of firewood, 16 inches, equals 1.3 feet. So 3 1/3 rows equals 1/3 cord. This wood looks awesome. I don't hesitate to compliment my firewood because it looks great. And that is it, guys. We're done. I mean, that was a breeze. Why is it that just stacking 1/3 of a cord is just a snap? But man, when I have a full cord, it just seems like it takes forever. Much more than if I were to stack 3/3 of a cord. I don't know. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I hope that, if anything, for those of you out there that are looking to get into restaurants, remember what you're getting yourself into. It's not just a cash flow. There is an obligation that's involved with it. These people are depending on you, and you got to come through for them. And that includes last minute phone calls, and then making sure that you're taking care of them before you sneak away for a family vacation. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you do, And if you haven't checked out our online store, take a look. We got our company shirts and our YouTube shirts for sale. We post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Here we go, guys. Everyone have a great day.